All right, Jets fans, the Jets have a really good cornerback room, and I think I may have found the missing piece to make this secondary elite. Now, I'm watching the Eagles play the Giants last night, and I keep seeing this dude from Philly just pop off my screen. CJ Gardner-Johnson, CJ Gardner-Johnson. And as a football fan, I'm kind of embarrassed to say I really didn't know who he was. And I see him like, oh, he's a safety. Oh my, he's a pending free agent. Look, I'm looking back through some of his production and some of his highlights, even back with the Saints. I'm like, how is this guy not on my radar? I've been looking at the safety market since the season ended. However, a lot of these sites don't even list him as a safety. They list him as either just a defensive back or a corner. When he played for the Saints last year, he actually was listed as linebacker with a few different websites just because of the way he lined up in their formations. He's really a chess piece. He's a Swiss Army knife on the back end. He can play man-to-man in the slot. He can come up and make tackles in the run. He can play the deep middle as a ball hawk. A league-leading 6 interceptions this year, 67 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, a sack, 8 passes defended. If you're into PFF grades, off the charts. 25 years old. 6 foot, 210 pounds, pending free agent. Come on, let's get some. He kind of reminds me of, remember Marcus Gilchrist, where the Jets brought over with Todd Bowles? I think he played for the Chargers. He was a slot corner, then the Jets played him at free safety. He's like Marcus Gilchrist, but on steroids, like ×5. Incredible football player. Now, you might be thinking, well, the Jets probably aren't going to spend big money in the secondary this offseason with, quarterback and offensive line being needs. And I'd say you're probably right. This kid probably isn't in our budget. However, if you look at the safety room, I'm thinking, okay, he's projected to get a contract worth $13 million a year. He's right up there with Jesse Bates, the top 2 safeties who are about to get the bag. And then I'm looking at Jordan Whitehead. Now, I know Jordan Whitehead is kind of a polar thing with Jets fans. Look, I know he comes up and he makes some highlight plays. He's young. He's durable. I think he's a good teammate, all that stuff. But he ain't a $10 million safety. He just isn't. If you roll the all 22, he's missing a ton of tackles and he's not good in coverage. So if the Jets want to extend him and get that cap number down, I'm fine with that. But he just can't make $10 million on this football team next year. So you might say, okay, well, you extend Jordan Whitehead, get his cap number down, and you plug CJ Gardner-Johnson next to him, and now we're cooking. And yes, we would be. But if you can't even afford that, well, if you cut Jordan Whitehead, it saves $8 million of cap space. And then CJ Gardner-Johnson makes $13 million. Okay, that's only a net $5 extra million that you're spending for what would be, in my opinion, a monumental upgrade in the safety room. It really would. And then you can plug in Tony Adams right next to CJ Gardner-Johnson, who's making no money, and you have... Now we're cooking with gas, man. We're cooking with gas in that secondary, because also baked into that is if you're a Tony Adams truther, which I am. We'll see. I think we reserve the right to be super high on like 1 or 2 undrafted free agents every couple of years. Tony Adams is that dude for me. If you put him next to CJ Gardner-Johnson, man, with the corners that we have, I think we could be in the running for having the best secondary in football. So JD, I don't know if it's in the cards, man. I don't know if we got the strings for it. But if we could just sign one more dude, one kind of big money dude after quarterback and offensive line, I think we should have our eyes set on CJ Gardner-Johnson. We'll see. Go Jets.